Good evening. How you doing? This is Tim from 313. And today what we're going to do is take a look at some of my new acquisitions that mainly autographs that I got from Fantasy Camp in February of 2020 this year. And I had a lot of fun down there playing baseball with the former Tigers and that. And Jake Wood was down there. And so I got his 1964 card signed right there. As you can see, he signed that. And I also got this 1966 Willie Horton signed by Willie, who was there. And Willie, what a great guy. He does so much for the community and charity around Detroit, and he's still doing it. And he was not feeling well. He was just got out of the hospital. The first thing he did, his wife even said, and his family said, is let's go. We're going to Fantasy Camp. He had to come down there and see us. Then we had a banquet for him. I believe it was Wednesday night when we were down there, and just had a banquet honoring him, and all his former teammates came up and told stories about him and everything, and it was a lot of fun listening to some of the crazy stories about Willie and what a great player he was. And also his best friend Al Kaline couldn't make it down there, along with Jim Price couldn't make it either. He was not feeling well. And Al Kaline passed away, as you know, and we're all going to miss him so much. Mr. Tiger, for sure. He's always made it down to the fantasy camps almost every year. This was the first time he was unable to come down there, and we're sure going to miss him. But let's move on here. There's 1968 Al Kaline I'm quite proud of. There's a 67. Might as well show some Al while we're here. 1970 Kaline. There's Cash and Kaline Bengals Belters. It's one of my favorite cards there. But let's move on and take a look at some of the autographs that I got while I was down there. Most of these you've already seen in Collecting in the D Part 1. But there's another Willie Horton, my 69. He signed for me. Now each player, Willie would sign 3 items for you, and Lolich would sign up to 3. Everybody else would sign up to 5. We did it on a Monday night just so we could get it out of the way. We took pictures during the day, then we played a ball game, and then came back that night, had dinner, and they all signed autographs for us, and it was really cool. And we got it out of the way so the rest of the week we could concentrate on playing some baseball. And that's exactly what we did in Lakeland, Florida, on the training facilities down there. And it was just like you were a Tiger. You came in there, you had your own locker, your own uniforms. You had to show up on time to the meeting in the morning, and then we played games in the afternoon. And it was just a really good time. And I sure would love to do it again. Here's a Willie Horton 1970 card that I had him sign here too. I collect autographs mainly for myself. I'm a huge Tigers fan. I have been all my life. My whole family is. I'm friends with many of the Tiger players, former players. And I just always look forward to a Tiger season, win or lose. And right now they're down a little bit right now, but we got some good young players coming up, and in a couple of years they're going to be back up there contending again. But there's a Mickey Lolich 1972 that I had Mickey Lolich sign. I gave one of my signatures away to a friend of mine, good friend of mine. But like I said, I don't profit off of any of these or anything. They're all for myself. I collect the cards for myself. And there's a 1973 Mickey Lolich. I had him sign. And Mickey Lolich, as far as I'm concerned, I think he should be a Hall of Famer. Him and Jim Cott. I think Jim Cott's got more wins, but I think Lolich has more strikeouts. But especially as many innings as those guys pitched back then. There was no pitch count. Some of these guys would pitch up to 276 innings. Now you're lucky if you get 120 innings out of a starter in a season. But let's keep going along here. Here we go. There's one. Dan Petrie was there. I got to know him and talked with him for quite a while down there. What a really nice guy. I'm so glad he's with the Tiger organization and doing the Tigers, what do they call it? Tigers Live on TV during the games. And what a great pitcher he was. And he's got a ring to prove it. And there's Tommy Brookens, who was down. Let me get rid of this glare so you can see better. There's Tommy Brookens. He was down there. Frank Tanana, who I talked with a little bit. But there's a Chad Kreuter. He wasn't down there, but I had that one before. But there's Mike Heath. And I got to know Mike Heath pretty well. He was... these guys like to, have a couple pops afterwards, and we'd go down to our local little establishment that we had set up at the hotel, and would shoot the breeze with those guys and talk. And it was just an amazing time, him telling the stories. And make sure you look up YouTube, look up Mike Heath Brawl. It was his rookie year when he was playing catcher with the Yankees, and he got into a brawl with the Angels. And also look up Mike Heath Great Catch. You can look up that one too. It's when he's with the A's, and he makes a fantastic catch and then crashes into the wall. And how he survived that, I'll never know. But there's Frank Tanana in 1987. That's the way Frank always signs. He's a very religious man and a really nice guy. And then there's Doug Bear. I had a couple conversations with him. He's got some great stories to tell. There's Hojo, Howard Johnson. Got his autograph. He pitched against us, and I happened to get a nice game-winning hit off of him, which I'm kind of proud of, but he wasn't a pitcher. But I thought it was kind of cool. There's Tommy Brookens there from 1986. And Frank Tanana from 86. And there is Juan Berenguer. And everybody tells me this guy could throw 101 to 102 miles an hour. And a lot of hitters were feared to come up against him because he threw so hard. And that's back in the day when a lot of guys weren't throwing that hard. But I don't know how long he threw for that hard, but I've heard some stories. Look up that movie. I think it's called Fastball. But and there's a documentary on it, and he's in there. But there's Juan Berenguer there. I was happy to get that one. He was another really nice guy. All these guys were great. And there's another Mike Heath from 1987. Billy Martin was his coach coming up in the majors when he first came up, and he had some stories to tell for sure. And there, sorry about the glare. There's another Juan Berenguer. I had him sign it in silver. There's Dan Petrie. What a great signature that is there. 1985. That's the world champ team right there. There's Tommy Brookens. And Ramon Santiago became real good friends with my brother, my older brother, Mike, and his wife. And she speaks Spanish, and they just kind of really hit it off. And they're still pretty good friends. And in the off season, I think they might even families get together. But there's Ramon Santiago there, and he's now the third base coach for Detroit right now. And there's Rosie, Dave Rozema, the wild man, in his high voice. He's a lot of fun. His team ended up winning the championship for this year. But there's another 1983 Dan Petrie. That's an Austin Jackson that I pulled out of a pack. There's Hojo, 1983 Fleer I had signed. And an 83 Topps Dan Petrie also signed. There's a Gabe Kapler that I pulled out of a pack. There's another Tommy Brookens from 83. Another Dave Rozema from 1983. And Steve Kemp. He was quite the masher for the Tigers before he got traded to the Yankees, but got his autograph there. And there's Zumaya. I got his auto there. And he was down there, and he can still bring it, man. Still throwing in the 90s for sure, and probably harder if he wanted to, but yeah, he's still competitive. And they're coaches down there, but sometimes he just gets up there and says, "Get out of the way, I'm going to pitch," and boom, boom, boom. He'll shut us down like nothing, man. Nobody can hit him. But he's a lot of fun, a really good guy. And there's Brandon Inge. This was his first appearance at the fantasy camp, and he did a lot of infield clinics and things like that, and it was great. And what a super guy! And we always seen him in the at the bar there, and everybody would talk and just have a good time. It's just like hanging around with your buddies down there. It's such a great time. And there's my buddy Craig Monroe. Real good friend of the family's, knows my mother well, knows all my brothers. Every time when we go to see the game, we'll give him a call, and he'll meet us at the gate and give my mom a big hug and everything. And he's just a super guy, and I'm so glad he's with the organization. There's Brandon Inge going in after that foul ball. That was one heck of a catch. I wanted to get that card definitely signed there. There's Brandon Inge. And let's move along here. See if we got any more. Oh, yes, we do. There's another Brandon Inge. I wanted a newer card signed. He spent 13 years with the Tigers, and he was really sorry and sad when he left. He got traded to Oakland, and there's Rozema. But he said it wasn't the guys from Oakland or whatever. It's just he had spent 13 years in Detroit. His family was here. He spent his whole life down here, his baseball career in Detroit. And he was just sad to go. So I think that had a little bit to do with him retiring a little bit early. But he's back in Detroit now with his family, and I think he lives in Adrian. But those were some of the autographs that I pulled out of there. There's all my Darrell Evans cards. I have every single Darrell Evans card that I can find that Topps put out, and everybody else. And I have some signed, and I have some balls. There's a Verlander autograph I pulled out of a pack. I was lucky one day. But I think that's all of the autographs I got when I was down there. Of course, they all signed a baseball, and there were a lot more players there, but there were certain cards that I wanted signed. But that's pretty much it for the autos. And I will also show you here this is the fantasy camp. The guys, there's the picture right there of everybody that was there. Of course, Jim Price wasn't there. But there's Willie Horton up in the upper right, Jim Price. And then you have Jake Wood. And the funny man right there, John Warden. He's kind of the master of ceremonies down there. He will keep you in stitches down there, just cracking you up. But there's Milt Kyler came down. And there's my coach, Nate Robertson, and Craig Monroe was the coaches of my team. And we were just, we had a great time. We just hung out together after the games and talked and had stories and listened to these guys, and just had a really good time. And there's Juan Berenguer, and then of course Ramon Santiago. Ike Blessett was down there. He was helping me out with hitting. There's in the cages and stuff, and he really helped me out. Because all the rest of the week I was just tearing it up in my hitting. But all he did was had me change swings a little bit. He said, just wait for it. You got to wait for it. I was committing myself and wanting to pull everything. He says, just wait for it. Wait for it. So he got me to time my swing a little bit better and to load up at a certain time. But there's a Doug Bear. Then you got Mike Heath, Tommy Brookens, Brandon Inge right there in the middle, Hojo, Steve Kemp, That's Barbaro Garbe, Mike Maroth, who's now the AAA pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves. I'm sure he's going to move up and be a manager at some point. I talked with him a long time. He is a really nice guy. Brian Pena, who was totally awesome. And there's Joel Zamaya, who is just he's a lot of fun to hang around with. Frank Tanana, Dave Rosema, and Dan Petrie. But that was the fantasy camp. I just wanted to get you guys up to date on some more of the cards that I have got while I was down there. And what a great time we had down there. And again, rest in peace, Al Kaline. We're sorry that he passed away this year. But what a great time it was down there. It was probably the best vacation I've ever had. And there is other teams that do fantasy camps down there, but I'll tell you, they can't be anything like the Tigers ones, because the Tigers ones were just fantastic. The players are just so gracious, and we just have such a blast down there. And especially getting to play baseball again. And boy, by the end of the week, I was hurting, man, for sure, because I'm 58 years old, so yeah. I had to take it easy. I'm a pitcher also. I did pitch 3 scoreless innings in the first game, struck out 4 in the first 3 innings, and got the win. We only play, I think we play, no, we play 9 innings. Okay. There was a couple of games and we had a doubleheader where we only played 7. But for the most part, I pitched really well, other than the 3rd inning of the last game that I pitched. And the 3rd game I pitched, I just got a little tired. And but other than that, I had a blast, and I played first base most of the time. You can play pretty much wherever you want to, but we went 500. We were 5-5. We played 10 games. We lost 5. We lost in two at the end there. But the youth guys, the younger guys, the 20-year-olds, they kind of, Rosie's team, he had the young guys down there, and they kind of took care of us old guys. But we sure had a good time. And I had 2 of my other brothers who were playing on the team with me, and Mike was catching for me when I was pitching. And Craig pulled a hamstring on the 2nd day, and he wasn't able to play until I think he batted a couple times in a couple of the last games. But it was a shame for him. He pulled his hamstring really bad, and also fell down and cracked his wrist or something, or his elbow. But yeah, he was done kind of early, and he was a 5-year straight veteran doing this. So but it was a really good time, and if you ever get a chance to do it, especially go down there. Well, that's all I got for you today. This is Tim from 313. Collecting in the D Part 2 is in the books, and I hope you enjoyed it. And leave a comment down there if you want to, and please subscribe and share. I wouldn't mind having a few more subscribers watching my videos. I do this all for fun. I do have a couple of hobby boxes I ordered that are coming in probably here in a couple days. We're going to crack those open, have some fun collecting those. But that's all I got for you now. We'll see you again soon. This is Tim from 313. Play ball!